Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Get that into full screen. There we go. So what I want to do with this video is give you an introduction speech so that you can see what we're looking for this class. Also, we'll incorporate the gear grinders element so you can get an idea of what that might look like. Again, what you're going to tell us here is your name, first and last name, so that in case we have more than one person with the same first name, we can tell you apart. We are going to look at your hometown, your major or majors, if you have more than one. Overachiever. I'm just kidding. Good for you. We'll talk a little bit about something that you have a short term goal of and a long term goal. Something interesting about yourself is the fifth thing. And then, of course, those two gear grinders. So, this really is designed to, one, help us put names and faces together, but two, to get you familiar with the recording process, the uploading process, seeing yourself on a screen when you talk, if that's something that's new to you. I know that we've all done some online education now, so maybe that's not a big deal. But just in case, we'll start out with a nice, easy, less than 5 minute talk so that we can get comfortable. All right, so mine would be, as you know by now, my name is Carl Brown. I am originally from Princeton, West Virginia, which I hope you've never heard of because that means you probably haven't been there, and that's a good thing. There's nothing in Princeton anymore. It's pretty podunk, if you will. My family and I left there when I was 12 and moved about 2 hours to Bristol, Virginia, which, again, not much there either, but it was a little better than Princeton. So I went to high school there in Bristol, and from there I moved to Johnson City, Tennessee, to go to college at East Tennessee State University. Johnson City is the same one from the Wagon Wheel song. So if you've heard that, that's the one. And it's really annoying when you live there and every hour at every bar that you're at or wherever that live music's being played or recorded music, you hear Wagon Wheel. And I think it's like Detroit and the "Don't Stop Believin" song, right? South Detroit. It's the same thing, just with drunk rednecks instead of drunk Red Wings fans. Whatever, it's cool. So I finished school there at ETSU. Got my master's degree there at ETSU, and then stayed around and taught for 4 years there until I moved to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, to get my PhD at the University of Southern Mississippi. I don't recommend Mississippi. I liked my university, but I don't recommend it for a vacation unless you're into, heat and racism. If those are your things, then you should go. But they're not mine. So, I've been to better places. From there, I moved right here to the Dirty Dale, Allendale, Michigan. I don't live in Grand Rapids or in a little community outside. I live in the Dale because I like it here. It's a little strange. It's a little backwards in some ways, but I'm looking out my window. I just moved, which is why I've got a strange background of wood paneling behind me. This is in my basement that I just remodeled. Uh, yeah, I can just see green fields as far as I can look. So I kind of like that. As you may guess, my major is or was speech communication as undergrad. My master's program was gender communication, and my PhD is in strategic interpersonal communication. What that means basically is manipulation. So I believe that it's possible to convince someone to do whatever you want them to do. Pretty much, really, if you ask them in the right way at the right time with the right words and everything comes together, people are pretty malleable. Now, I know that seems evil, right? And what we think of, it's negative manipulation, but it's also used to do good things like get people to stop smoking or get vaccinated, that kind of stuff. So that is my background in education. Something interesting, short term goal for me. One is to not get the Rona until this pandemic is over, assuming it will end short term. See, I'm being optimistic. Long term goal, I have a 3.5 year old son who came to us. He was adopted about a year and a half ago. And so I, want to keep him alive long term and, raising a decent person. So, be a good dad. Um, Something interesting about me, and this just happened the other day. I am teaching 3 courses at Grand Valley. I'm an assistant professor here, but I'm also teaching a class at Harvard. I know, yeah, really, that Harvard. They don't know me very well, apparently, but that's happening this semester. So I'm doing it online. And I didn't apply. They called me. So who else can say that? I'll take it. It's interesting. As far as gear grinders go, 2 things. You need 2 things that just get on your nerves. I've got a couple. Well, I've got more than a couple. One, slow walkers. Now I get it. If you want to walk slow, you can walk slow. I'm a big guy, but typically when I'm walking, I'm going somewhere. I'm not just out for a stroll. I'm not the type that's going to go for a walk to relax. I don't know. When I'm walking somewhere, I'm transporting myself, and I have a destination that I want to reach. If you're walking slow, that's fine. Move over. Move over. Please. If there's not room to move over, be aware of your surroundings, and so that you could stop and slide over if someone comes up behind you. It's not that hard. You just need to be self-aware. I'll stick with walking for my other gear grinder. And you know what? I'm going to combine these two. Slow, inappropriate walking. That's what we'll call it. So the slow walker is part of that. The other part of that, my neighborhood, actually, when I moved to this house, it's from the same neighborhood down the street. It's a nice place. We've got roads, of course, and then sidewalks. Both sides of the street, sidewalks. People walking the freaking street. What is this? So now I'm coming home or going somewhere, leaving the neighborhood, coming back to the neighborhood. And I don't drive fast in here. We got kids. I got kids. I don't want to hit a kid or anybody else for that matter. But you're walking in the street, and it's not just you. It's you with a baby stroller and your spouse and your other little kid who's just kind of in and out, and the dog. Like, I get it. You're too wide as a group for the sidewalk. But you can get in line and stack. It's not that hard. It just causes lots of problems. I will change to my second gear grinder here and keep with my neighborhood, though. I love the place, really do. Just these 2 things get me. Parking on the street when there's not room to park on the street. Technically in Allendale, it is illegal to park on the street. You should know that because you live in Allendale, maybe, or you come to Allendale. And if you park on a street and you're, let's say, doing something that's not illegal, but the cops want to mess with you, you're at a party, right? If you're parked on the street, they can just tow your car. Why? Because it was parked on the street. You need to know that. That's the law. My neighborhood, you can park a car on the street and people can still get by. No problem. Both ways. But when you have 2 cars parked on opposite sides of the street, it's a problem. Now, here's why it grinds my gears. If you park them like this, so now I can go between the cars, right? I've got room to sort of snake through. It's annoying, but it's fine. But if you park them directly across from each other, you now made a one-way street right there. Might as well be like a one-way bridge. And that grinds my gears. So that's what I'm looking for from you, is to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then a couple things that irk you, grind your gears. And these aren't just to sort of air grievances. This isn't Festivus. But you can stop laughing now if you're a Seinfeld fan. If you're not, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But the reason we use these is because when we do your correspondence debates, I'll try to put a few of these in. Things that I know will spark a little bit of a disagreement or some sort of emotion. So if you have questions on this or anything else, please let me know. Email me. It's always there. You got the 24-hour policy. And I will see you shortly with another video, maybe from the basement. We'll see. But have a great week. Stay safe, wear your masks, and don't get the Rona.